All right, so what we're going to go ahead and teach you today is going to be hip hinging. So basically deadlifting, glute bridges, kettlebell swings, really just kind of making sure the pattern is really solid and how to go about it the right way. So the first thing that we're going to do is just going to be really easy. You're just going to literally touch your butt on a wall or a post or something. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a little bit farther away, as deep as you can hinge. If you can hinge deeper, you're going to end up moving forward to begin. Maybe just like a foot away from it's fine, like a little half step. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to take a nice big deep breath, exhale the ribs down and in, start engaging your core. We want to feel our feet in the ground. We're going to really spread the floor with our toes, get nice and screwed in. Big toe, pinky toe, heel, all with nice even distribution. From there, we're going to go ahead and slowly bend the knees, but also more so push the butt back and drop back into our hips. As you can see, she's going to slowly touch, and then she's going to come all the way up out of it nice and smooth, and we're just going to go ahead and do 5 reps. You can see she had a little bit of trouble there, so she's probably a little bit too far, so we can slide her back just a little bit. And now she's just going to real smooth come back, tap, then come all the way up. What you should be feeling here, the abs should not be lost at any point. A lot of people will tell you to really shift your weight back onto your heels, which in a sense we want to, but at the same time, I don't want you to lose your big toe or even the ball of the foot with the contact in the ground. And you should also feel the lats, these staying nice and engaged so that her whole entire spine is nice and neutral, as they would say. So from here, what I can have her do is pause. So stay right here. And now I want her to learn how to breathe here, learn how to stay here, and now come all the way up out of it. So you can pause along any range of motion. Go ahead and go back into it again. Pause here. Okay, so I'd go ahead and trick her, say, I want you to be strong the whole way through. You can pause here, go a little bit further. Pause here. Good, now come all the way up. Pause here. Good, all the way up, good. So she can kind of pause around those different ranges of motion and make sure we're strong here. And that's really gonna be your first step in learning how to hip hinge. As simple as it is, don't skip it. Make sure you can do that properly. Have someone look at it. The other thing that's gonna happen with a lot of people is, go ahead and do a bad one where your chin rises. So as we go back, we don't want to close down the back of our neck like this. We want to keep our chin down and even retracted so that she's using these muscles up here to keep her spine, especially the upper part, nice and safe, come all the way up out of it. So make sure that you're avoiding that as well. All right, so another progression that I really like to use for the hip hinge is basically an isometric. We already showed you that with kind of touching the wall, but even more importantly, away from the wall, you want to know where you are in space. So what I'm gonna have Ewan do is she's gonna go back down to her hip hinge. She's gonna get as far as she can. And we're literally gonna stay here. A couple of things that we wanna feel. First, hamstrings should feel like they're literally holding us up. Again, we don't want the weight on the heels. We wanna distribute it throughout the foot, big toe, pinky toe, and heel. I want these lats to be working here, so she has a nice squeeze here. She should really feel her upper back working, because you can see she's actually retracting her chin, not tucking it, but retracting it and staying strong. So this stuff is working harder than you think. And then I want her to be able to breathe. So she's gonna take a big deep breath, fill up her belly button, fill up her upper back, her sides. Try to learn how to breathe here. As you exhale everything out, pull the belly button in and the ribs down and in and get even tighter. I'm gonna keep her here for a full 30 seconds, probably been 20. She's learning how to breathe in this position, going through our checklist. I could even say to her, do you feel your hamstrings? Do you feel your lats? Do you feel this working? Where's our chin at? Let her know where everything is, so when she gets that weight in her hands, we already know, and I say, go through your checklist in your mind. We've already done it. Now she knows where she's at. Come up out of it nice and slow, drive through the ground, push it away from you, squeeze to the butt. Okay, so that's how you're gonna really do that one. And just like you see a lot of stuff on my channel, really staying and doing some positional isometrics is a great way to learn anything. All right, so the next progression that we're gonna take you through is basically gonna be a banded pull through. This is a great way to learn how to swing the kettlebell and really just make your hip hinge stronger. A couple of different ways to do it. For right now, we're not really gonna be reaching through so much like a kettlebell. We're actually gonna keep the band out in front of us or right under us so they can mimic more of a deadlift. So what she's gonna do is we're gonna use the tension of the band to kind of assist for someone that doesn't really feel the hips going back. The band's gonna pull their hips back. So she's gonna slowly go back into it. We're gonna keep a 5-second tempo. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up out of it. Squeeze the butt, nice and strong. Again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. all the way up, drive. So I want to make it a little bit harder on her. I'm going to tell her to take a step forward. Now it's going to get much more difficult, and we're going to make it even a little bit more difficult with it, a little bit more of an eccentric. So we're going to do 10 seconds. So ready? Slowly hinge back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drive out of it, boom, nice and strong, okay? So now I want her to get a little bit more lats out of it, and remember we went through the checklist there, so as you've seen on the previous stuff, make sure that you're going through the whole checklist. I'm gonna turn her around, she's gonna face the band, and we're gonna go ahead and grab it the same exact way, and this time it's more for someone who's hip hinging correctly, but they're not getting any lats into their deadlift. So move up a little bit more, let's get this nice and tight by our side. So the band is pulling her out, and she has to use these. If she doesn't squeeze this back and down, her hands are going to be all the way away from her. So now she's going to keep that nice and strong, grab it on the sides too, and then you're going to pull it towards you like this and squeeze. Good. So now she's going to go into her hip hinge. As she goes back, that band's pulling her. She's got to use these the entire time, staying nice and tight. Pause here. Let's go through our checklist just like I said before. Neutral spine. She's feeling this working because her chin's retracted. These are literally holding us up. We have weight on our heels, but we also feel pinky toe and big toe, so everything's distributed evenly. Her abs are pulled in, they're still tight, but her ribs are down at the same time, and then she's still able to get thoracic extension without losing her abs. Armpits are squeezed the entire time. I can even have her tension more, squeeze it towards you, pull it towards you more, good. Now drive up out of it, boom, one more rep, nice and slow on the way back. Mess around with 5 seconds, mess around with 10, drive through it all the way up, squeeze. Good, go ahead and let that go. So that's a great way for you to really make sure that those lats are getting into it. I like to start off with a band, but you can even take that band, wrap it around a kettlebell, bend around the post, and it'll pull you back in, and you can use it even a little bit more with that. All right, so now we're gonna actually take you through the deadlift. We're gonna start off today with the kettlebell, but just know that you could definitely use the barbell, you can obviously use the trap bar. Preferably, I prefer the trap bar really to teach someone right after the kettlebell, and honestly even all the time. So if you want to use the barbell, use the barbell, but I prefer the trap bar, just so you know. So what we're going to do is we're going to step all the way up to the kettlebell. We want to think about this as lined up with our ankles. We never want to pick the weight up from out in front of us, we actually want to pick it up from under us. So just like we've been practicing on the previous progressions, Ewan's gonna take a big deep breath, exhale everything out, make sure that the ribs come in, the abs are nice and tight. She has tension, she's keeping it. Now she's gonna hinge all the way back and put her hands on it, but not pick it up. So super important that we're gonna really go through our checklist right at the bottom here. Ewan's a little bit different than most people. You can see her spine is super straight from here, but she's also, her butt is high as hell, so you got a really deep hinge for her. So what I'm gonna do for you today, just so you can see it'll be a look a little bit more like you, is her butt's gonna come down. She still feels hamstrings. We're going through our checklist, right? Hamstrings, heel, pinky toe, big toe, lats, nice neutral spine, the chin is retracted, and we're really gripping the bar and breaking it apart. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna have her kind of hang out. Again, positional isometrics. Before she picks it up, I wanna know that she can be here for 30 seconds. That makes a ton of sense. So say we've been here for 30 seconds, I want her to push the ground away from her, drive all the way up, pick that up. Boom, good. Now, again, 10 seconds on the way down. Let's groove the pattern. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let it go down to the ground. Again, she's real high, you might be a little bit lower. As long as you're feeling everything along the checklist, everyone's gonna look a little bit different. Okay, so let's go ahead and drive through again, pick that up. Good, now I wanna go to 5 seconds, so a little bit faster on the way down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drive up. Boom, good. And now all the way down again, 5 seconds. So you can see we want to be pretty explosive because it is an explosive movement, especially as you get heavier. But now, because this is a lighter weight for her, she's pretty strong, we're going to actually go nice and slow on the way up. So she's 5 seconds on the way down. And I want her to maintain our checklist. We're going to go 10 seconds on the way up. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 seconds on the way down. You can see she was able to execute that without anything changing, so the abs stayed tight, everything was locked in. Again, one more. Good. Notice that she's pulling with the hips are pushing the ground away from her, and she's driving her butt up instead of throwing her lower back into it. She, at no point during this do her abs change. They're constantly contracted the entire time. Nice and slow on the way down, good. So that's how you're gonna just relax. That's how you're gonna be doing your kettlebell deadlift, and you can really take that and transfer it to the barbell or anything else. Again, go through your checklist, make sure that you don't lose your abs. If you're feeling it in your lower back and it's not a heavy weight, you're probably doing something wrong. I would start off with your breathing and start off with your abs being tighter. If you do feel in your lower back and it's a really heavy weight, that's fine. As long as it's not the lower back that's doing all the work and it's not the prime mover, you should be driving the ground away from you with your hips, having your feet screwed through the ground. All right, so one of the last things I want to make sure you guys got in our deadlift progressions is it's really important that you're not just pushing yourselves to be like everyone else, that you're actually getting the best exercise for you individually. And one of the things that means is basically you don't have to be deadlifting from the floor. It should be something that you're working towards. But in the meantime, you can get your mobility work done on the side, whether it's my hamstring video or any of the other stuff that's limiting you. But at the same time, we can still be deadlifting and keeping that strength. We just need to be operating in the range of motion that we own. So what we're gonna do is show you how to do that so that you don't have to just completely be off and not deadlifting at all. All right, so she's gonna come on down, okay? And we're gonna drop our butt a little bit. We're gonna get our chest up and we're gonna start off in a good position. So right now she's in a good position. Everything in the checklist is good. Now I want her to pull this up, good. So this is that rounding that you start seeing, especially on Instagram, right? When someone's pulling a lot of weight off of the ground. We wanna avoid this at all costs. Say that you're trying to deadlift and you just realize your partner tells you you cannot deadlift without a round back. We don't want to do that, so we want to give you a little bit of a regression. How are we going to do that? Go ahead and stand all the way up. We're going to take the kettlebell, a block. You can put 2 weights on the sides if you have the trap bar, whatever it's going to be. We're going to go ahead and give her a little bit more height. Then she's going to step all the way up to it. Remember, the kettlebell lines up with the ankles. We're picking it up from under us, not above us. And now, even though she could obviously achieve that good position before, now it's even better because it opened it up and requires a little bit less from the hamstrings and some other things as far as the mobility goes. Go ahead and do a nice solid rep, drive through the ground, pick it up, boom, good, coming back down. Drive through again, and pause right here. One other thing to really take note of is that this top position, a lot of people are gonna have trouble with the neck, and at the bottom, they're gonna come down like this. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna tell them chin down, or you're gonna start noticing chin down, and then at the top, you're gonna actually look like this, which is also not good. I want you to look straight and think about pulling your chin back so you're retracting it. So this is nice and strong. We have our abs tight, but we're actually able to extend to our upper back, but not our lower back. So notice she's not here, but her abs are tight and she's actually extending to her upper back, but she's not losing her core. Super important. Make sure that you're finishing strong at the top. And if you need to adjust your bottom position, use something as a little prop, get it up a little bit higher, require less mobility. You're still after to go after your strength though.